Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Ivan's Programming. This channel is notably for ISC and ICSE students who have opted computer science in their curriculum. First of all, I would like to say that programming is fun. Students may feel that programming is difficult. I don't think so. Programming is absolutely fun. One can master programming by practicing lots and lots of programs. So let's quickly start the programming session. I have solved ISC 2020 practical paper in my video. I have posted the solution for the array program of ISC 2020 practical paper. The question is about finding the decimal equivalent of each row in a matrix and printing it. So they have clearly given how to solve the program. As you can see in this example, this is a 3 by 3 matrix. The first element in the matrix, that is 2, is multiplied with 8, that is the octal base to the power of 2. Whereas the second element in that particular row is multiplied with 8 to the power of 1. And the third element is multiplied with 8 to the power of 0. As you see in the second row, the same thing is done. The first element is multiplied with 8 to the power of 2, the second is 8 to the power of 1, and the third is 8 to the power of 0. It follows. What is the logic behind this? Why did the first element get multiplied with 8 to the power of 2? It's nothing but the number of columns in that particular matrix minus 1. As you can see in the next example, the number of rows is 1 and the number of columns is 3. So 1 should be multiplied with 8 to the power of 2 and 4 should be multiplied with 8 to the power of 1 and 4 again should be multiplied with 8 to the power of 0. In the third example, there are 3 rows and 4 columns. So the value in the first row, the first element in the first row, 1 should be multiplied with 8 to the power of 3 because the number of columns are 4. That's it. And as we proceed, we have to decrement the power value and then find the sum of each row. Come on, let's explore. BlueJ is a very student-friendly environment. So in my video, I'll be working with BlueJ. Here, I have declared the packages, IO package and util package. Util package is to support the scanner class, and I've given the class name followed by main, and then I've just given an instruction to the user saying enter the size of the matrix. There's a condition given in the question. The number of rows should be greater than 1 and the number of columns should be less than 10. So I've just used SOP statement to make sure that the user enters rows greater than 1 and it should be less than 10. In the next line, instruction is given stating that the number of columns should be greater than 2 and it should be less than 6. We are declaring a variable named m to receive the number of rows and a variable named n to declare the number of columns, and it is received. After receiving the values of m and n, we have to validate if it is satisfying the condition, that is the number of rows, which is nothing but m, should be greater than 1 and it should be less than 10. The next thing is to check if the number of rows, that is the columns, n should be greater than 2 and it should be less than or equal to 6. If this condition is not satisfied, then we display a message stating that invalid input. Then I'm really sorry, I forgot to declare the array. I'll do it lately. Next, we try to input the values for the elements of the array. There I've just given an information. If the condition is not satisfied, then what do we do in else? Next, here I'm trying to receive the values of elements for the array. I've just given I is equal to 0, I is less than m, and I plus plus. As we know, array index starts with 0. I've declared the value of I to be 0, and I've just given I is less than m because the size of the matrix, say suppose if it is a 3 by 3 matrix, when it starts with 0, it is 0, 1 and 2, which means it can hold 3 elements. The same way I've given the value for j is equal to 0, j is less than n, and j plus plus. Next, you can notice that I have received the value in a variable. Why? Because we have to validate if that variable which is received is an octal variable. What is an octal variable? The values which is in the range from 0 to 7 is an octal variable. So that's why I've given the condition as if value is less than 8. If the value which is received is less than 8, then it is entered inside the array. Then after receiving the elements based on the condition, next what are we going to do is, next we are going to check the logic. Here, as I discussed earlier, we have to multiply each element with 8 to the power of the number of rows minus 1. In order to keep in track of the rows minus 1, I have given x is equal to n minus 1, and we are going to find the sum, so sum is equal to 0. So now sum plus, this is a shorthand operator. Now we say sum is equal to sum plus. Instead of that, I've just given sum plus is equal to the element, that is ARR of ij, means that 0, 0, that is the first element, plus math dot power of 8 comma x. X is now n minus 1, which is nothing but, suppose if it is a 3 by 3 matrix, it is 2. Then after it finds the first thing, then x is getting decremented. Next, what I try to do is, after the j loop executes, I'm printing the decimal equivalent of that particular row, which is nothing but the sum. After printing the sum, I reinitialize the sum value to be 0. After reinitializing the sum value to be 0, you have to initialize the value of x to n minus 1, because we have decremented the value of x. As the j loop executes, the value of x becomes 0. Now again, for the next row, we have to reinitialize it to n minus 1. That's what we have done here. Else, we print invalid input. That's it. It's as simple as that. Now let's just execute it. I'm just going to give a matrix of size 1 by 3, and the elements are 1, 4, 4, as given in the question paper.